Hey folks, it's Jeff from Two Awesome Dads Adventures, and in this episode we want to talk about hydration. Now Jody and I have done a whole bunch of trips, and one thing we seem to forget or not have enough of is water. Whether we could have bought it at the grocery store, had it in a big thermos, had it in our Hydro Pack, even just had it in a mug. We frequently just didn't have enough water to drink, cook by, or wash. So in this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to show you an additional tool in your toolbox by putting on an accessory on the back of the pannier, and that will add another option to keep you hydrated. So follow along. So what we did is did a little bit of research and decided one of the items we'll go to is from Touratech Canada. And a bit of a shout out to the folks out there in Montreal. They're great people there, really helpful. Likewise, our experience has been very similar when we dealt with Touratech in Seattle. So that's where we went, looked at this, and we got it. So let's open up the box. Now I've done a little cheating here. I've kind of already opened it up to make it a little easier. A little quieter too, not so much rustling. First you see is we ordered the pack that came with 2 bottles. So there are 2 metal bottles that came with it. Got all the Touratech all over them, that's okay. Pretty well built. Don't have that weird smell that some of the metal bottles tend to have, so that's great. So we got 2 of those for this kit. Then, okay, I'll admit I cheated. I've already opened up even the bags inside. So there's the bracket that the 2 bottles will sit on. They come with a set of straps. And they come with some metal or plastic pieces, I think, that go along the edges just so they're not so sharp. All right. What's next in the box? The adapter itself. So here it is. This is the adapter. It actually bolts itself. We'll put that right on the saddlebag. And what else is in the bag? Hopefully the magic bolts. There we go, bolts, washers, and nuts. So this looks like 4 of each. And here's my one gripe about Touratech. It comes with a piece of paper that tells you where to go to get a piece of paper. That makes sense? Anyways, you go to the website and there you can print off the instructions on how to do the actual installation. So follow along and let's get at it. All right, now here comes the hard part, drilling into your saddlebag. This hurts. It took a bit of courage for me to actually want to put my drill against this. First step though, took the adapter, lined it up. The black tape represents 47 millimeters from the very edge here to the bottom of where we want this adapter to be. So I just put a piece of tape there, didn't want to score it or anything, I just put tape, so I've measured that twice to make sure that's right. Then I took the adapter, took a black marker, and then made marks for each of the 4 holes. When it came time next, before I was going to use my drill, I actually used a punch so I'd have a little indent. So that way the drill wouldn't be skidding all over the metal. So you see, I've done 3 already, and we're just going to drill the final one using a 5/32 drill bit, or 4 millimeters. All right, there's the 4th and final hole drilled. The next will be to put the plate up there. Yep, they all nicely match up. And then we're going to put in the 4 bolts. There's a washer on their side, a lock nut. And we're also going to put some sealant on it as well, just to keep it that much more water resistant, so we can prevent it from getting damp in there should we get caught up in a monsoon. Okay, so you'll have seen I've already got 3 of the 4 bolts in place. So I'm just going to show how we install the last one. So I take that, I'm going to put some sealant on the back of it. Don't need much of it. Using the inside of my saddlebag as a bit of a workbench. And I'm just going to take my cordless drill. Now I'm going to go to my handy dandy magnetic dish, grab the washer that goes on from the inside, my handy dandy workbench on the inside of the box that has a lock nut that goes with it, provided in the kit. All right, one more bolt to put on. It didn't need to be drilled in. It's the accessory one that goes up here. It's a hex head, a number 3 hex head. And there we go. There's the 5 bolts that came with it, 4 which need to be drilled in, which I have to admit took my breath away to do. And then we're going to actually put on the water bottle attachment. Now we take the water bottle bracket and we're going to put it on the adapter. A couple of things to note, and I was mistaken earlier. That 5th bolt that came with the kit, the hex head number 3 that goes in this hole, doesn't go in quite yet, and I'll explain to you in a moment why. First of all, there are 4 holes there that you need to line up, a bit on an angle, gently press in, snap to the right, well, it's locked into place. Pretty easy. But this is where that 5th bolt comes in, the number 3 hex head I mentioned, threads right into there. When that happens, a lot more difficult to steal. So if you're in a neighborhood with some pretty aggressive raccoons or bears, this will prevent it from being lifted. How to take it off? In the reverse, press the button in the middle, turn to the left, and off it comes. So you can see how easy that is. Now the other thing we've done is you'll see that there are these plastic hooks or grommets that are put in here. These edges of the metal are really sharp. So when we show you in a moment the straps, you can see why, because otherwise they'd fray. Now, the instructions. Not bad, but I have to say if you're a little bit challenged figuring out how to put the straps together, can't rely on that. So we're going to show you that next and how we take the 3 straps that came with the kit, how they go on this to secure your water bottles. Okay, now with the bottle holder, a couple of final steps before we mount on the bike. There are 8 of these plastic clips. You slide them in, you get a satisfying click as they're properly in position. They're there to protect from the straps rubbing or chafing against this sharp edge of metal, otherwise they'll come apart in no time. The instructions, I mentioned those earlier, pretty brief. Now we're going to actually put the straps onto the holder, starting with the middle one. Two things about the middle one. First of all, that's a lot of extra strap. That'll likely need to be trimmed or else it'll fray and come apart. And the other thing is this needs to be tense, or taut, because this is where some tension is going to be for the 2 that will go on next. So we can put the bottles in. So you can see through the loop underneath, on the other side, over. And they go through this little loop, metal loop here, and we go there. So right now we don't need a lot of tension because I'm going to take the Touratech bottles that were provided and slide them in. both go in, and you just tighten them up, and there you've got it. I think I might experiment with the straps a little bit differently. Might even try different types of straps. Seem to be a little more complicated than I think is necessary, but it definitely is a good start. And you've got the two bottles that will be securely in place. Next, we'll actually put it on the bike itself and see how it looks. All right, the moment of truth. We've got it all assembled. We've got the adapter on the back of the box. So now we just line up those 4 points, and there we go. Would be easier probably if you didn't have the bottles in place. And if you want to take it off again, it'd be easier without the bottles to get at that button right in the middle, right behind that strap. But otherwise, there we go. We've got it in place. Now we've got some extra water, going to stay hydrated just to be much safer and a little bit more enjoyable once we get to the campsite. So to recap, you saw that plate there. Those were the 4 bolts, came with 4 washers, 4 lock nuts. We lined it up. Remember that tape we had at the very bottom? That was 47 millimeters from the bottom of the edge of the box, according to the instructions. Lined it up, used the black marker, used the punch, used the drill. Drill those 4 holes. Deep breath, you're drilling into your box. Put in those 4 bolts with a bit of silicone or some kind of sealant to prevent it from leaking. Then the washers, the lock nuts using a 7 millimeter wrench, and on the back, and a 2 millimeter hex head key for those 4 out here. And then you've got it done. And then we showed you how to put the straps on. Again, I think I might experiment with some different ones. I've already trimmed one off to begin with. I'll probably experiment with others, but otherwise it's a great start and a great way to keep hydrated. So if you like this episode, click like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We always welcome your comments. And again, thanks for taking the time to watch this entire episode of 2 Awesome Dads Adventures. We'll see you again. Bye for now. Scene 7, take 8. 88. Scene 9, take 3,333 on the night of.